Okay, so I want to finish mixing this up really, really quickly because I do have something I need to go and do. I am going to find somewhere in here, I have vanilla. Okay, the vanilla is not actually in the recipe, but I like to add a little bit of it. Since it's not actually in the recipe, and I can't find it right now underneath all of these things that are here, um, and I notice that we don't have our eggs in there either. The recipe left those out. So I'm going to put our eggs in. One egg. Careful of that shell. Two eggs. This is how I crack an egg. I take the egg. I go to the edge of the bowl. And I tap it twice. 1, 2. Then I hold on to the part that's not broken with my fingers. I put my thumbs in the part that cracked. And I pull. And again, hopefully you don't get any shell in there. Ah, here's my vanilla. Yes. Just a drop. Make it extra nice. Now I mix. Mix my eggs. So right now, all day, I have eggs, shortening, butter, sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and bananas. And now I'm going to slowly add in, bit by bit, the dry stuff that we mixed up earlier. This is the flour, the salt, and the baking soda. And I'm just going to take about any measuring cup will do. And I'm going to scoop up some of the dry, a couple scoops, and put it in. I don't want to put it all in at one time because you know what happens? You start the mixer up and it's all in your face. You don't want that. So I'm going to go slowly, 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 adding in, adding in. Some of the flour mixture. And I'm going to do another 2 scoops. And I think once I get that kind of mixed in nicely together, I'm going to be able to dump the rest in. You might want to ask a parent for a utensil called a spatula. You can use your spatula to scrape the sides. Let me show you mine. Your mom and dad might just call it a scraper too, that's fine. So I need to, it's hard to see, I need to scrape the sides of the bowl. And I need to do that because, as you can see, sometimes the flour likes to hide underneath. So I want to scrape the sides and make sure that all of the flour that I'm adding actually gets in there into the mixture. Now I can put in the rest of my flour. Oh yeah. And at this point, it's really up to you. You can add in chocolate chips like I'm going to. You can add in walnuts. You don't have to add in anything. When you add those things in, though, you're not going to use your mixer. You are going to do what is called folding. I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit. Taking some chocolate chips, putting them on the top. This is folding. You're basically picking up from the bottom and flopping it over the top. Pick it up, flop it over. Pick it up, flop it over. You can stir. It's just, once it's already been stirred, you don't want to stir it too much. That can affect the consistency. It might make it too tough. So fold in nuts or chocolate chips if you want to. And lastly, I'm going to show you putting them in the cups and putting it in the oven. So I have started putting the batter into the muffin cups. Now I don't want to fill them all the way up. I want to leave a decent amount of space because this is going to rise as it cooks. And if I fill the cup to the top, I'm going to have muffin all over the place, and it's going to be a big old mess. So I'm just taking one of the measuring cups and putting probably about a third of a cup in each muffin tin. I'm not using the third of a cup right now. I'm using a half cup, but not filling it all the way. So just a couple more here. I put my nuts. I had already put my nuts and my chocolate chips in. And now I'm just going to kind of tap it so that they settle. Not too hard and not too much. There. So now they're settled. Now I'm going to put it in my oven at 375. And they're going to cook at 375 for, well, the instructions here are for a loaf. If you're doing a loaf in a loaf pan, like a bread-shaped pan, it's 1 hour. But these are muffins, so I'm going to check on them in about 20 minutes and see what we got. All right, here we are. The muffins have been in the oven for about 18 minutes. I turned them around so that they would cook evenly about 10 minutes in. Now I'm going to take them out of the oven. I really do not recommend that you do this at home. Please ask a parent or a teenage sibling to help you with this because I would hate for anyone to get burned. Burns really hurt. I'm using these are silicone pot holders to take them out. Oh yeah. Now I want to make sure that they are done. And there are a couple ways I can tell if they are cooked. I'll be able to see if they're starting to pull away from the side of the tin, which I can see that they are. Also, tip this down. I'm going to just lightly push and it springs all the way back. So I know that these are done. Now, my stove kind of functions as a cooling rack because of the way it's set up. If you do, your stove may be different. You'll need to have a cooling rack. Set these to cool. Again, if you have chosen to do the banana bread in a loaf pan, that's probably going to take between 50 minutes and an hour to cook. I also recommend turning that around midway through the cooking time. Allow them to sit and cool for probably at least 15 minutes before you start taking them out of the pan. But that's it.